Hi, in this video we are going to leverage the Copilot to write the code in the VS Code. That means you don't have to write the code, the Copilot simply writes it for you. There are two things we are going to do. The first one is we are going to ask the Copilot to write PowerShell function to connect the ServiceNow API. The second one is we are going to request Copilot to write HTML and CSS. Let us go to the VS Code and see how we can do this. I'm in my VS Code and you need to install a GitHub Copilot extension. I click here, the extension, okay, you have to install the GitHub Copilot, this one, and I have already installed. Once you installed, it will ask you to log in. Okay, I have already logged into the GitHub Copilot, and then it costs about $10 a month with the first month free, and you can cancel it anytime. I click here to see my files, and then go here, right click on a new file, and the name of the file is connect snow api.ps1. The extension of the file is ps1, which is nothing but the PowerShell. So I'm going to click here. And then first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste my instance name, okay, which is nothing but the ServiceNow instant name, and also the username and password. I'm getting the password from a text file. I don't want to show my password rest of the world. And here you can ask questions in Copilot so that it's going to write. Okay, write me a function to connect ServiceNow API and test connection, and then click here. You can see here it generates the code. Okay, the code is not perfect, but still you can read if you know how to read. And here you can already see the problem, and you can, all you need is a $sign here, and then close here. I think this should work. Okay, and then okay, you can see here that it is writing a function called test ServiceNow connection, and then it's sending the base URL. Okay, the endpoint of the ServiceNow for the incidents, and then passing the headers and authorization. Basic authentication takes place, and finally it gets the response. It's sending the invoke request to the base URL with the headers, and then if the response is 200, that means the connection is successful, otherwise the connection is failed. So I'm going to accept this one, and then finally I'm calling it is calling the test connection function, which is nothing but this one. Okay, I'm going to accept this one, and then I'm going to run this one. Let's see what happens. See, the connection is successful. This is how step by step you can start writing the code, but however, you need to know some kind of programming knowledge, and this, someone who doesn't have any programming background cannot go and modify the code. Next, we are going to ask Copilot to create a static HTML file. Right click here, new file, and name of the file is testcopilot.html. Hit enter, and then I'm clicking here, and then I'm writing this one. Write me an HTML code with the username password field, then submit button. So that means nothing but I need a to field with the username, password, and then there is finally a submit button. Okay, hit enter or click here. Voila, it has been created successfully. So I'm going to accept, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to here, this is where it's saved. This is the test copilot.html. Okay, You can see here the username, password, and the submit button, but it doesn't look nice. Let's see how we can manipulate the CSS so that it looks good. I have my CSS file in this folder. Okay, I'm going to use this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this first, and then add file, and then I'm using this styles.css. Okay, I'm adding this file. So I'm going to ask the question to the copilot. Modify the style sheet CSS and point to my HTML file. I want the username, password, and the button in the center of the page. So I want to Copilot to modify the code, the CSS file, as well as here, so that the CSS will be pointing here. Okay, let's run the code. Let's see what happens. Okay, it is modifying the code here. If I go to style.css, is it modifying something here? It is also modified here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept and then done. And then once it is done, I'm going to go to this, go here, and then save all. And then I'm going to launch here. This is what it did. This is the Copilot. You can, keep improving and improving again. Okay, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.